Okay, we are on to chapter 5 of decision 2, and this is called dynamic programming. And I'll let you know what I think of this chapter when we get to the end of this, and I want to see what kind of thoughts you have on this chapter as well. So this is an area of mathematics that was developed in the 1950s by a man called Richard Bellman, as well as some other mathematicians as well, but he was one of the main pioneers of this. And this was developed as a management tool. This management tool was being used to make better decisions in production planning, in machine scheduling, in resource allocation, basically anything to try and make planning of things more efficient. And actually the entire approach to these kind of problems of dynamic programming that we have here, it's all about working backwards and systematically. Systematically just means doing it in a really kind of careful, ordered way of doing things. And they are pretty simple to operate what's going on in these problems, but they are quite easy to slip up with because we're dealing with a lot of information all at once here. And we're just trying to do this really systematically. We're trying to kind of basically look at all of the possible options of what could happen, working from the end back to the beginning, and then deciding on which of those options might be the best kind of thing. Now, the first application that we're going to be thinking about is trying to find the shortest paths through a network from a source to a sink. And this should remind us a little bit of things like Dijkstra's algorithm from D1, but it is a completely different approach, and they would be telling us to use dynamic programming for this kind of thing. So, if we know that the shortest path from S to T is SABCT, then we know that the following are also the shortest paths too, just from kind of like common sense of what we've got here. So we will, with dynamic programming, find a short path from S to T. Let's say that it was SABCT, then these following things will be the shortest paths as well. So to go from S to C, well, that would obviously just be from S to A to B to C, because it's a section of that whole journey that we've got. From S to B, it would just be from S to A to B. From S to A, it must just be from S to A. And from A to C, it's just the middle section. It would just be A, B, C. So really what I'm trying to demonstrate here is this is Bellman's principle of optimality, meaning that any path of an optimal path is an optimal path. So for example, this path SAB is a section of it. I should say any part of an optimal path, actually. Let me just change that. It should say any part of an optimal path is an optimal path that we've got. So any little section of this is also the shortest route between those letters that we have there. And the same will also apply when we are looking for longest routes or maximum kind of costs as well. If we had that this was the maximum route from S to T, well, BCT would be the maximum route between B and T as well. And we never need to quote this. We can just say like what it is. I don't think I've ever seen Bellman's principle of optimality being used in a mark scheme, but I'll look out for it in case it's something that we do need to add in. So we are sometimes going to want to find these longest paths, and what I'm going to do in the next video is actually just show you how to do this for the shortest and longest paths problems using dynamic programming. So that was just a quick little intro on this, and I will see you in the next video where we will discuss actually how to do this dynamic programming.